is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Biz Now, because your business matters.
And we are live. Welcome to the #1 live business show in North Carolina, coming to you from the Burner Cigar Studio, home of premium cigars and exceptional cigar smokers. This is Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and you can enjoy a delicious and tasty cigar at Burner Cigar, located in Birkdale Village. Please go by there. Tell them Joe sent you. First cigar is on Joe. Just tell them you heard it on WSIC. We hope this Monday afternoon you can sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hope we can inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do here at News Talk WSIC. 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone, and we've been doing this strong for over 10 years. We have well over 850 small business owner and community leaders that we have interviewed over the years. We've got well over 550 interviews, videos on our YouTube channel. Go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker. And Julie has done an exceptional job of putting all the playlists together. There's a bunch of good stuff. And we're going to do something else today with my buddy. And it's going to be another good video that will be on there later on in the week as well. If you happen to miss this or miss any of our shows or want to hear it again, you can go to, again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube and pull that stuff up. We are also live on the book, live on the tubes, live on the X, live on any place you want to go, because Wilton is just throwing it out there for anybody that wants to listen to it. In case you don't know, Joe Talk book is Facebook, tubes is YouTube, and X is X. And every month I have a co-host for the entire month. This month is no exception. I have my good friend, whether he will admit it or not, Danny Decker. He is the founder of Marketing Simplified. He also is a co-author of Automatic Marketing Machine. Danny, my friend, thank you for being here, buddy.
Yeah, Joe, it is always a pleasure. It was great last week. It's great to be here again today. Thanks for having me.
So, refresh my memory. How did we meet? Because somewhere you became one of my favorite people. Now, when did that happen? How did that happen?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think it was like 2018, 2019. So I sold my first marketing agency and was getting into the coaching, speaking, consulting game. I had just written a book. And we
that was your first book.
My first book, Marketing Simplified. And we got a booth at the Lake Norman Business Expo.
That is an exceptional show. I got to tell people there's not a better event that the Chamber puts on, in my opinion, than that phenomenal expo that they put on every year.
Agreed. And it was either 2018 or 2019, because it was before 2020. It was probably 2019. I had a booth. I had my book there. You guys, you and Julie came up. We shook hands. I'd known of you because, you know, everybody knows Joe if you're in the Lake Norman area.
And I was being nosy, right?
You probably were, yeah. That sounds right. Yeah. And we had a conversation about the book, and one thing led to another, and we had some good conversation. And then one day you invited me on the show, and then the rest is history.
The rest is history. I mean, we're such good friends. Our wives know each other, and we've been to dinner.
Yeah, had dinner
I can't say
times.
that about all my co-hosts, you understand.
Well, there you go. Love it.
So, for those people that don't know, how can they reach you if they want to reach you?
Yeah, so the easiest way, honestly, is to just go on LinkedIn and search for Danny Decker, or you can do that on Facebook, or my website is DannyDeckerMarketing.com. I have a few different things going on, but DannyDeckerMarketing.com will kind of connect you to all of it.
And so Bill Russell, who has been a fan of this show for many years, had been a co-host many, many times until I found him. I'm his mentee. You understand that. Now that Bill has his own show, You understand? He no longer will reduce himself to being on my show, but he does watch us, Danny, and he just put on Facebook that what's the date? It is October the 8th is the next Business Expo.
Fantastic. Well, I will definitely be there.
So remind people that don't remember what is Marketing Simplified and a little bit about the book Automatic Marketing Machine.
Yeah, no, thanks, Joe. So Marketing Simplified is basically my belief that marketing doesn't have to be as complicated as many folks have made it, right? And so my goal with starting that, which is really a consulting agency, strategic consulting, is really just to help business owners make sense of the marketing world, the various options out there, think through who are their ideal clients, what is the messaging that's going to be attractive to their ideal clients, right? Like cut through the confusion, the mystery around marketing. We talked about it last show, Joe. There are all these fancy terminologies that, marketing people like to throw out there for various reasons. But ultimately, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple. And so Marketing Simplified is kind of my, brand on the coaching and educational side of things. I also, as you, I think you're aware, Joe, about a year ago, also launched a separate agency called the Automatic Marketing Agency that is built around the book, The Automatic Marketing Machine. And that is more of a done-for-you lead generation using Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and landing pages and all of that fun stuff. So I have built a team on that side of things. It's myself and we've got 5 full-timers and, really focused on growing that as well as sort of sticking with the educational side of things on Marketing Simplified.
And you and I connected because for years, us small business people keep hearing marketing people tell us that they can do this, and and after a while it gets to be like a snake oil salesman, right? I mean, there's no way we know whether what they're saying works until we write them a check, and 8 months later it's not working, right? So, and all of us small business people have been through that. And when I met you and I read your first book, I could tell you had a lot of bullet points. I could tell this he really does try and simplify things and break it down so that it's easy for me to measure. This is working, keep doing it. This is not, let's do something else.
And I love that you brought that up, Joe, because I think that's a misconception, a lot of folks have about the marketing world. You can't guarantee that any one given campaign is going to work, right? Like there are just many, many variables out there in the world that can impact the success or failure of any marketing campaign. So I always tell people a failed marketing campaign is not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world is actually, from a marketing perspective, is actually just when you don't know if it's working or not, right? Because that's how you get yourself in that trap of you just got to keep writing a check every month, because you're not sure if it's working. And so you're afraid to turn it off, but also you don't know that it is working. Right. You're not. So what I always tell people is you just have to get clear on your objectives going into a campaign. Like, why are you doing this thing? Are you doing it to generate leads? Okay, great. Well, then how are we going to measure whether it's working? Are you doing it for brand awareness? Okay, that's cool too, but how are we going to measure? So that's the conversation, is you just have to be clear about how you are measuring success or failure.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, I pulled off of the internet, off your website, some Marketing Simplified stuff we're going to dig into.
Sounds great.
If it's Monday afternoon, your business matters.
There's more.
You had to hurry. I almost missed that.
You even told us about it, and then I just didn't look up. I was so, I guess, into you put it up there, and I just missed it. So glad you wrapped us up.
Okay. Julie's got your website on the book.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, you learn the Joeisms. There's the book.
We're good.
I'm good. My favorite is the chain, which it took me forever to figure that one out. That's LinkedIn. The chain. I was like, the book, the chain? Like,
the chain?
What are we talking about here? Very funny.
We don't do the chain on the radio.
Yeah, it's hard to stream it on the chain.
Oh, he giving me a look. We do something on the chain? What are we doing on LinkedIn?
Downtown Cornelius.
Are we live on LinkedIn? We live on the chain too?
And so much more. As always,
I didn't even know the chain had a live.
I'm celebrating.
Really?
Some of
Okay.
these are just around the corner. Check out some of the camp.
Every
All
day. Learn something new.
Okay, I told you, if
Broadway
If
through
Wilton can
Asian
push it, he
and
pushes it out there.
Kane Center for the Arts is offering week-long camps starting June 10th through August 9th. For more info and to
Hey,
register for any of the summer camps,
okay,
visit
good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
kanearts.org.
We're good.
That's CAINarts.org.
So, Martha, that's what we do. That's how we do it.
Hey, coin collectors, this is your weekend too.
Sounds like fun.
The Statesville Coin and Currency Show at the
Nobody
Statesville
likes
Civic
Wilton.
Center is this weekend, featuring over 60 tables of some of the
And he got
finest.
Keep
no
on the
friends.
abuse.
For more info, contact
There you
Chris
go.
Brewer of
That's what he
Carolina
takes it for.
Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville
He
Coin
just
and
makes
Currency
sure you
Show
sound
at the
good.
Statesville
So,
Civic
right.
Center
Don't
March 16th.
go ahead and insult him.
Right, right, right. I keep telling people I'm in charge, but you know who's really in charge.
I know who's got the button that
The
turns you on or off.
Yeah. or that does the Mickey Mouse voice effects.
3435 East Broad Street in Statesville. Eagle Reynolds
Okay.
Customer Appreciation Day.
When I moved to this station, I didn't know. I was doing it at the other station.
April 25th through the 28th.
and that station
at
had been there
Wilkes Community College.
literally
Featuring
78
nearly 100
years.
performers,
Wow.
including
And so when I
Wilkes
came here, I was
Messi,
saying, like, I
Wilkes
need
Bush,
this, I need this, I need this. And the owner said, you've been spoiled over there. You go and stop those.
Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets.
Because at the other station, the
Have an event,
board operator
gift
is
cards,
in the same room. He's
yard sales,
literally
estate
right
sales,
there.
everything
Yeah.
in between. Visit
Joe used to bring him
WSIC
breakfast in the
news.com.
morning
I
to
used to
bribe
bring him breakfast every morning just to, because you know when you're making fun of him, you got to, like Wilton. I brought him some Reese's cups today. You know, you don't bring him something, he'll shut you off.
Local starts here.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 talk business show in all of North Carolina, coming to you live from Burner Cigar Studio. Premium cigars and cigar smokers, the best in the world. Wonderful people. Go on by there and light up, and it will absolutely change the way you feel about your day. Life is good at Burners. Go by there, Birkdale Village, in the same parking lot as Dick's Sporting Goods. They are exceptional people. Go by there and tell Josh that Joe sent you, and your first cigar is on me. It is Monday afternoon. We hope to inspire, inform, and entertain, because that's what we do here at News Talk WSIC. So, Danny, if it is Monday afternoon, say it, say it, say it.
Your business matters.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Now, Danny, if it also is Monday afternoon and you're a co-host, you got to deliver. Like, we don't just let you come in here and chit-chat. You got to teach some people some stuff. So what I did today is I preempt going to the Google. I went to your Google and I pulled out a marketing simplified pamphlet. This is a free pamphlet that people can get if they go to your website.
Yeah.
What website can they go to get this?
DannyDeckerMarketing.com.
DannyDeckerMarketing.com. But I went and got it for you. So I schnooked it for you already. And there's 10 ways to generate more leads for your business. Here's a kicker. Here's a kicker. Without spending a penny. Let me say that again. 10 ways to generate more leads for your business without spending a penny. Now, you can go to Danny's website and get this for free, or you could sit back, relax, and I'm going to give you the information. Are you ready?
I am, but let me even jump in, Joe. On
you're
the,
going to say something about that.
I'm going to
You
say
upset
something.
that I did this?
No, I love
Okay,
that you did
okay.
this. I love that you did this. But, I want to touch on the reason I titled it the way I did, without spending a penny, right? Because, I'm sure you and I could talk about this. There are businesses in different stages of growth, right? And there are a lot of folks out there that are starting a new business, relatively new to business, don't have a whole lot of money to spend on marketing. And I like to say they're in the hustle versus spending, right? They have more time to invest than money, right? And there are a lot of folks out there. I get that question a lot, frankly, which is, hey, I'm new. I just started a business, real tight budget. What can I do? I don't have money to spend on marketing. And so that's really what this report is designed to do. I'm not trying to say this is all anybody needs to do. As we grow our business, you do want to spend money, right? Because you don't want to trade your time for dollars forever.
Right.
But I think kind of everything that we cover in this conversation is a great way to grow your business if you are in that stage where you have time and you're willing to put in the hustle and you just don't necessarily have the budget yet.
So before I met you, back in the day, I was a master let me hear. Let me say this to you again. A master. Okay, I know. When I use that word to you, it means something. Guerrilla advertiser, a master at it. You understand? So I'm going to be interpreting this as a modern day guerrilla marketing approach. Is that a fair interpretation of this?
Yeah.
So let me see if I like it. Are you ready? I'm going to critique these for you.
Oh boy,
Okay?
this is
Are
gonna
you
be
ready?
good. This will be good.
Okay. So number one, okay, call past clients. So talk about that.
Yeah.
It sounds simple. I got to be honest with you. I can't remember the last time I've ever done it.
Yeah, so that it's just a classic example of where we don't have to make this complicated. You want to generate some more cash flow this month because things are tough. Well, where better to start than pick up the phone and call clients you've worked with in the past and say, "Hey, how you doing? How are things?" Catch up, have a little conversation and ask them, "Hey, is there anything I can take off your plate?" Right?
And it's an easy call. It's not a cold call, right? I mean, they know you.
Yeah.
They'll probably take the call.
They know you, presumably they like you, presumably you've done good work for them in the past. So why not block off an afternoon, right? And call, 20, 30, 40, 50 clients you've worked with in the past and check in, see how they're doing, and ask if there's anything else you can do to help them. Honestly, if you actually do that, I tell this people all the time, if you actually spend 2 hours doing that, I guarantee you're going to walk away with some level of business.
Yeah, because even if they don't need any right now, they might tell you about a friend or someone like that does.
Bingo. Right.
Okay.
And it's also just a great way to show people that you care, right? You're checking in on them. You're asking, how's life? What's new? Right? Just take that 5 minutes to invest in the human relationship,
Right.
and good things are going to come of it.
Okay. Number 2, call your referral sources. Boy, I really should do this more often. I don't do that well. I do send them a newsletter every month, but I don't physically actually make contact with them. When I read this, I kind of felt kind of low. Like, man, I ought to do that.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, if you actually run the numbers, most businesses find that it's a relatively small percentage of people that make a outsized percentage of the referrals to them, right? Like, you have probably a small handful of people, maybe it's a big handful of people, right? But you can identify, a core group of people that are good referral sources. Either they've already been good referral sources, or they could be good referral sources. And so again, when you're sitting there saying, "I've got time, how do I grow my business?" That to me is number
okay,
2.
I don't want to dwell on this, but it's such a great idea. Like, when I call, do I just say, "Hey, I sure could use another lead"? Like, what am I doing when I call? Am I thanking them for the last lead? Walk me through what that looks like.
I always want to lead with some human connection, right? And by the way, I don't want people to make these calls specifically and only for the reason of getting business out of it, right? Like, truthfully, if you've worked with these referral sources or these clients in the past, you've got some level of relationship with them, and hopefully as a human being, you care about them, right? And so part of it is going into the conversation, looking to just have that human conversation and make some connection, check in with them. How are they doing? How's life? How's the family? How's business, right? You have the conversation. And honestly, oftentimes you don't even have to ask for the referrals, right? Because just the fact that you
Right.
called them up and created that conversation, that puts that light bulb in their mind. "Oh, I remember Joe. Joe's great. Yeah, I
Right.
do have." And then, but if the opportunity comes and they say, "Hey, what can I do to support you? How are things?" It's a good chance for you to be like, "Well, I always appreciate referrals. I'm specifically looking for this type of person, this type of case, this type of client, whatever." And it usually flows very naturally.
Okay, we can't spend that kind of time on all 10 of these.
You're
okay?
asking me
We got it.
questions.
Okay. Number 3, sharpen your networking strategy. What does that mean?
Boom. It means you got to be networking.
I got to go to Bill Russell's chamber and shake his hand and say hi to him and give him a hug.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay.
Bottom line is, though, it's being strategic, right? A lot of business owners make the mistake. They confuse networking with net socializing, right? And so they go hang out with people they know, but who aren't necessarily actually in position
Right.
to refer them business. And so it's
I kind of proved to you I'm the opposite because that's why I came up to your table. I want to meet people I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of people,
Yeah.
they say, oh, I'm part of a networking thing. I go 2 times a month, and then I ask them questions like, who are you networking with? And it's like, well, yeah, these are all my friends from the last 20 years. I'm like, okay,
Right.
there's nothing wrong with socializing, but
Right.
like, let's not confuse the
It's
two.
not a barbecue.
Yeah.
It's a networking.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're networking, you need to figure out where you shouldn't be networking somewhere unless there are either potential clients or potential referral sources.
Exactly. That's what you said. Number 4, grow your social media network. I got to be honest with you. Us old folks, we just hate this social media. We got to do it. I know I'm on the book and the chain and the tubes and the X and all that with this radio show, but I got to tell you something. We really don't like it. We really don't like talking about ourselves in a public way like that. You know, you're saying we got to do it.
I'm saying you got to do it, or if you don't want to spend money, you got to do it yourself, or you pay someone to do it for you. But social media, everybody's on social these days. It's still a very cost-effective or free way to reach people. So yeah, if you're trying to grow your business, you need to have a presence on social media, or you got to get a Julie to help set you up with the presence on social media.
Everybody needs a Julie. Now this next one is right up the North Mecklenburg, Lake Norman area, and that is number 5. Host a lunch and learn. The chamber set that up for you, baby. All you got to do is pick up the phone, call the president or the whoever answers the phone at the chamber, and they'll set you up with a lunch and learn.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea
What
is
a special treat that is.
Yeah, that is huge. I actually wasn't aware of that, but now that I know that, that's really good to know.
Whoa! You saying I gave you some information?
I learned something today,
All
Joe.
right.
Yeah, but a lunch and learn is great because first off, today's world, since COVID, everything's shifted online. Everybody's doing webinars, and that's understandable. And there's a lot of good things out of that. But I have found that people are actually looking for human connection again. And in-person events can be great. And so the idea behind a lunch and learn is you're talking on your area of expertise. I could do a lunch and learn talking about marketing. Joe, you could do a lunch and learn talking about how to get your business ready to sell, right? And bottom line, you invite people, you bring them out to the lunch and learn. Maybe you pay for the cost of the sandwiches, right? Or maybe you get a sponsor to do it, right?
Well, most of the time, everybody just brings their own lunch
There you go.
and sits there and enjoys listening for people for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great way, in-person connection. You spend a little time talking, teaching. It makes you look like an expert, right? And it's a great strategy.
Okay. Number 6, host a webinar. I've never done this.
Oh, I know you haven't because we've talked about it before.
When I read this one, it got me scared, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, keep in mind, and I should say this. I should have said this at the beginning. If you're listening to this and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is too much to do," I'm not saying you have to go do all 10 of these things. I'm saying choose 1 or 2 and execute on it, right? Like choose the one that resonates with you and get on it. This is a buffet, right? Like pick and choose what you want to execute on. Some people might love the lunch and learn. Other people, if you have a more like nationwide audience, for example, you're not going to do a lunch and learn, but you could do a webinar, right? It's the same concept. You present.
That's what I was going to ask you. So really, the webinar is a lunch and learn virtual style. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You teaching something of value, right? So it's got to be value oriented. You have to be teaching something to your audience.
So number 7 is add a lead magnet to your website. We don't have time. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll get the last 3.
I'm here for 2 more weeks, Joe.
10 ways to generate more leads for your business without spending any money, not even a penny. And we're on number 7 when we come back.
Love it.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone. If it's Monday afternoon, say it, Danny. Say it.
Your business matters.
Marketing Simplified. We'll be right back.
We come back to mine next week.
We'll return to Local Biz Now with entrepreneur Joe Vagnone in just a moment on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, getting the work week
Yes.
started on a comfortable note as we climb into
Yep,
the mid-60s and plenty of sunshine.
He's trying to make sure
too.
that.
Yep,
We'll
the
drop back
line.
into the low
Logo's
40s
back.
tonight. Outlying spots and farms may see the upper
So Julie's
30s
putting all these
by
on
early
the-
Tuesday
on the
morning.
book.
Warming up to
So she's
70
got
tomorrow,
1,
and
2,
it just
3,
gets
she's got
better
that.
from there. Mid-70s,
Julie's
even near
amazing.
80
Thank you, Julie.
later this week and staying
Don't
dry
be-
for a while
don't be
too.
kissing up
That's your
Julie.
forecast from the WSIC.
Again, I know who
Weather
runs
Center.
things around here.
I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
So,
This
because
weather
this will
update
be a
brought to you by
nice little
G&B
video, I
Energy.
want to
Visit
get
them
these
today at
last.
120 Etacott
Okay,
Drive.
I get it.
Call
Yep,
it at
I'll just go. We'll go quick then.
Right. We can't do it
704-874-747
next
for
week
all
because
your
it'll be a
propane
different
needs.
video.
I understand.
Okay.
$5,000. That's
trying
the
to hook
average
you
amount
here.
of
Yeah, no, I
money
like
people
it.
in the
Okay.
US
Yeah.
are now
He's got a whole
spending on
plan.
gas
I
in
should have
a year.
known.
Julie said, "You're welcome,
That's
Danny."
crazy. If you drive,
Julie loves
you have
Danny.
to download Upside, the free
Who
app that
doesn't
gives
love
you
Danny?
cash
You
back
guys have
every time
great
you get gas.
interaction.
That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by
So,
buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start
when we
earning
come
cash
back
today.
Why you gotta look at me like that? You give me that look. That look.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money,
We come
download
back,
Upside.
fire up the burners.
I earned from using Upside
Okay.
to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the
I
free
gotta-
Upside
I gotta-
app now to earn
I gotta
cash
make the
back
show
every
some
time
money.
you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN
Wilton think he's
for a
tough business. He got a whole
25
bunch
cents
of
per gallon
buttons in
bonus
there
on your
now.
first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Wilton is
Hi, this
progressive.
is Andy with Lake Mountain Coffee, located at 110
When I
West
first
Broad
got here,
Street in
Wilton had
Statesville.
never done a
Did you
radio
know we
show in
also
his
own
life.
and operate Statesville's
Really?
first
Wow,
coffee
never would've
roasting
guessed.
facility. We roast coffee beans for businesses,
Now he's
fundraising
just
events,
bad at
special
it.
occasions such as a wedding.
He used to
we
be
can even
horrible.
put a custom
Hey, I'm
message
just
on the
saying,
back
we
of
got
your
a
bags.
timer, we
If
got
you're a
everything this
company,
time.
simply
This
someone with a
seems
coffee
pretty
need,
good today.
Give us a call at 704
I like Justin too, so I'm not going to make any comparisons. But
Wilton, just so you know, our guest is a workers' comp. She can get you some money for the way I'm talking to you. You understand that?
Personally observed the abuse.
Mental abuse. You know, you go get some money out of it.
Physical injury followed by mental abuse. Absolutely.
Big drag on the Dow shares of Boeing down another 3%.
I wonder if it's coming
after the
from me or
Justice
Justin.
Department opened a criminal investigation into the jet maker for that incident.
Wilton said, "I'm gonna get him a boat."
Airlines jet in January when a door panel blew off mid-flight. Also, Delta Airlines expects 100 new jets it ordered from Boeing to be about 2 years late. Boeing shares down 25% year to date. The sports blogging site Deadspin had its entire editorial staff, 11 people, fired today. And consumer expectations for inflation over the next 3 years climbed higher last month, and we're a little higher looking 5 years out. But the Fed says they're both below 3%. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
It's Local Biz Now with Joe Bagnone on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Yeah, #1 talk business radio show in North Carolina. If it's Monday afternoon, your business matters, and we're happy that you're here. Wilton, fire it up.
From rescuing lives to rescuing your senses, I'm Josh Johnson, and Burner Cigar is a go-to escape for relaxation. Let the aroma and flavor of our cigars rescue your senses from the everyday hustle. Experience a new level of unwind.
And I must tell you something, Burner Cigars is a wonderful place. I've been telling people for years, the cigar is like this exceptional equalizer because you could be sitting next to a multi-millionaire or literally my father-in-law. It wouldn't or Wilton. It would it wouldn't matter. We enjoy each other's company, and that cigar is a wonderful hour to 45 minutes of time. I tell people it's much better. I do a lot more business in the cigar shop than I've ever done in the golf course. So go by Burner Cigar. They're in Birkdale Village, and tell them that Joe sent you, and your first cigar is on me. Thank you so much for being there. We're going by there. We appreciate that. So I am talking with Danny Decker. He is the master of marketing simplified. He's got something on his website that you can get 10 ways to generate more leads for your business without spending a penny. And we have already gone through 7 of them, and I'll go through all 10 before we end this. But now we're on number 8, okay? And if you're on the book, Julie's already putting that stuff on the book for you so you can see it. Number 8, create an introductory level product or service to sell. What does that mean? And not all of us can do that.
Not everyone can do it. Remember, this doesn't have to be, everyone doesn't have to do everything on the list. But the idea is if you can make it easy for someone to engage with you, instead of like, having to go for the whole caboodle right away, right? Like, Joe, I don't know if this is something you do, but like maybe someone's not sure if they want to sell their business, but they could hire you for 60 minutes to do an evaluation of their business, right? And so it's like looking for bite-sized pieces to sort of welcome people into the process of doing business with you.
It's funny you say that because I've just started doing that, telling people that I'll value your business, but if you want to sell it on your own, you're more than welcome to do that. And then I can advise you later, sort of this cafeteria style offering.
Perfect.
So I'm in it. I'm doing this. Okay. All right. Who knew? Number 9, special offers to your email list.
I love email marketing. I tell all my clients you need to grow your email list. You need to pay attention and nurture your email list. And every once in a while, if you need some more business, send out an email, send out a blast to your email list and make them a special offer for subscribers only.
Right. Okay. And the last one, number 10, create a joint venture or a partnership. What does that look like?
Yeah, maybe you can't find any customers, and so who can you partner up with that has a similar customer base, right? I could reach out to a different marketing firm and be like, hey, you want to do a joint venture? I'll offer this program, this 60-minute program to your clients, and I'll split the proceeds with you 50-50, and all you have to do is send out my promotional materials to your list, right? So there's a million different ways you can slice that, but the idea is tap into somebody else's list, tap into somebody else's relationships.
Right. Danny, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
Always a pleasure.
10 ways to generate more leads for your business without spending a penny. You can get that on the book. You're also going to be able to get that on Joe Vagnone Business Broker YouTube as well, and you certainly can get it on Danny Decker's website. Danny, how can they reach you, buddy?
DannyDeckerMarketing.com.
So, okay, Wilton, I need a little bit of music. It's not very often we got a big, smart person in the room, right? So I want this intro to be good. So, Wilton, I could use just a little bit of nice, pleasant music. Do you got any music? Look at that look he's giving me. Not one drop. All those buttons, and you got no... Okay, Wilton, I want you to sing something. Oh. Here we go. And now, let me introduce you to Martha Ramsay, owner of Ramsay Law Firm. Martha. Oh, that was nice, Wilton. That was
nice. Thank you very much, Joe. I'm so excited to be here.
So everything you just heard at the beginning of the show, I apologize. I'm happy that you still stayed.
I was just amazed at the tips that I saw and was writing some down for my own business.
So, Martha, thank you for being here. We have not met.
We have not.
You and Danny have done some business together in the past.
We have.
And so when I talked to Danny, he said, Joe, I've got somebody we got to get on the show. And when Danny says that, I listen.
He's a smart guy.
Because Danny deals with a lot of attorneys.
He does.
So when he told me Martha was somebody to talk with, I kind of believed him.
Well, good. I'm glad that he did. And I'm glad you believed him.
So Ramsay Law Firm, give us a little idea of what it is you guys do.
So we represent people who've been injured. And primarily, we focus on workers' compensation, representing people who've been injured on the job. But we also represent a lot of folks who've been injured catastrophically in motor vehicle accidents or people who've been injured in other ways.
So, Danny, I don't think you know this. Now, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble because the small business people, we hate women like this. She's the one who brings the workers' comp to us when we swear that Wilton was never hurt. I did not hurt Wilton, you understand.
You should actually love me because I'm getting a return on the premiums that you're forced to pay anyway through the state of North Carolina. And what it means is if you can make the insurance company do the right thing and honor all the premiums you paid, you're going to get your employees back healthier and you're going to get them back quicker. If you have a bad insurance company, it's taking more time, your employees are out longer, and they're not getting good medical treatment.
And you are correct. I was picking on you because the truth is workers' comp actually saves a lot of liability money for us small business people. So it absolutely is a very good, healthy thing. It was set up years ago to actually help us small business people.
Right?
Yeah,
it's good you know the knowledge of the history of how the Workers' Compensation Act started.
No, I don't. Give it to me.
Oh, well, it was actually a compromise between labor and management back in the 1930s where owners wanted to be protected from being sued for being negligent.
Right.
But workers needed to have some protection and rights. So there was a compromise which says if you're injured on the job, you can't sue your company separately under the civil action for damages or for liability, but you can recover the benefits that are promised you under the Workers' Compensation Act.
Got it. And I've always known that it's actually a good, healthy thing for small business people. It actually is a cheap insurance for most of us small business people.
And I'm horrified when I see the owners opt out because it's a great, like you said, Joe, cheap option for owners to protect themselves, especially anyone who's traveling. You know, if you're driving in your car right now and you're listening to this radio station, you need to be making sure that you're on your workers' compensation coverage, because if you're involved in a motor vehicle accident, you'll have coverage through your workers' compensation, as well as possibly having a claim against the person who is at fault for the accident.
Well, and I'll just throw in, you know, as a business owner, it makes me feel great knowing that my employees would be covered by something like that.
You took the words right out of my mouth and out of my mind, Danny, which was it allows me to sleep at night. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because the liability would just be ridiculous.
Well, and I've also sued some uninsured employers, and that's always sort of heartbreaking because I see people having to sell a lot of business assets to be able to satisfy what insurance should have paid for if they just paid the premium. You know, we're talking about having to pay all of the doctor's bills and all of the lost time out of pocket from the business.
It's not worth the risk. Get workers' comp.
Right, which is funny that I'm selling insurance because I sue insurance companies all the time. So there's that dichotomy.
Right. But that's what this show is all about. We are trying to educate them, and I'm here to tell you, in my experience, it is the best, cheapest protection you could have. In most cases, there are some industries which are ridiculously expensive, but that's because the liability is so large.
Exactly right. The construction industries, the roofing industries, guys on scaffoldings, all of those premiums are going to be larger, but that's because the risk is so much larger.
And your entire livelihood is at risk if you don't have workers' comp. It's not worth the risk.
Absolutely. I've you know, it's interesting as a small business owner, I see both sides of it, right? I pay my workers' compensation premium, but I also sue businesses all the time. You know, and I've shut businesses down who don't have proper workers' compensation coverage and had a catastrophic injury for one of their employees. I mean, I've had guys shoot nail guns shoot in their eye. I've had nail guns shoot in the knee. I've had horrible burn injuries. I've had explosions. I've had lots of falls. So, you know, everyone thinks it's not going to happen, but I've seen that it does.
Okay, so, Danny, I don't appreciate you bringing a woman in here that's put people out of business. You understand that, don't you, right? Okay. But your
business matters.
That's right.
Protect it.
You're exactly right. Protect it. Get the workers' comp. It's absolutely worth of. Let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
You didn't wake up one day and realize you want to put people out of business, right? So walk me through how you got into workers' comp.
Oh, absolutely. I was a lawyer and doing a variety of things, child custody, traffic, business, and got into the workers' compensation arena because what I found was I could really make the biggest difference to people. Someone out of work, someone who needs medical treatment, I can get them that help for medical care. I can get them time to cover their expenses while they're out of work from an insurance company. And, you know, they get better. They go back to work, their bills are paid, and they're very grateful. So I've really enjoyed that aspect of just working with everyday people and helping everyday people, you know, get back up off the ground out of the worst time in their life.
So we've only got about 30 seconds till we go to break. If somebody finds themselves needing workers' comp assistance, how can they reach you?
Oh, they should absolutely call the Ramsay Law Firm, 704-376-1616.
One more time.
704-376-1616. My staff is there. They'll ask you some quick questions. We'll decide if we can help you and set up a consultation with me.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some more with the marvelous Martha Ramsay of Ramsay Law Firm. We'll be right back.
There's more Local Biz Now with Joe Bagnone on the way. From 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Yeah. Because Martha
Well,
represents
the work we
Panthers
started on a
players.
comfortable note as we climb into the mid-60s and
good.
plenty of
Don't
sunshine
suck up
for
to her
this
so you
afternoon,
can
too.
get some
We'll drop
money.
it back into the low 40s tonight, outlying spots.
But
in
it
the
is good to
farms.
know her,
May
isn't it?
see the upper
Always-
30s. Woman got a Saturday
always
tomorrow
good-
and just
always
I
good to
saw
know a
Wilton in
guy.
there writing down your
mid-70s,
information.
704-376.
You might get the carpal tunnel
16,
syndrome or something with
Forecast
it.
from the WSIC
There you
Weather
go.
Center.
He's got it.
Chase Myers.
He's going to be pitching it for me.
What's going on with the
Here is your
Panthers?
Well,
WSIC
Martha
community
represents
calendar. Happy
is-
St.
I
Patty's
represent,
Day. Plenty of fun
NFL
and
players.
adventure
Really?
happening
And
around
workers'
the
That's
entire
gotta be
area
tricky.
this weekend.
It's,
Downtown
it can be
Cornelius,
complex for
downtown
sure.
Mooresville,
They're just such an
DeVos State
interesting
Vineyards
group.
in
There's such a
Troutman, and
wide
so much
variety
more.
of events.
As always, we hope you have a
the
fun
way the
and
players
safe time
are.
celebrating.
Yeah, I mean, how often do they get injured on
Summer
the job?
camps are just around the corner.
How
Check
often
out
do
some
they
of the
have
camps
surgery?
happening at Kane
All
Center
the
for the
time.
Arts. Pottery
I
for
just
teens,
had to
paint,
tell
paint, paint,
a very
Broadway through
well-paid
the ages,
player
and
that
many more.
horribly he's
Kane Center for
passed
the Arts is
because
offering
of
week-long
women on
camps
the
starting June 10th through August 9th.
I
Yeah,
never
For info
thought
and to register for
workers'
any of the
comp
summer camps,
in
visit
professional sports.
canearts.org.
I assumed it
That's
was something completely different.
Right.
CAINarts.org.
There are some benefits under the collective bargaining agreement that they
Hey,
get, but
coin
they
collectors,
have
this is
carved
your
out
weekend too.
right
The
for them
Statesville
to
Coin and
have
Currency
state
Show at the Statesville
that
Civic
is
Center
interesting.
is
Well, let's
this
talk
weekend,
about that a little bit.
featuring
That is
over
kinda
60 tables of some of the
Absolutely.
finest coins around. For
Yeah,
more
I
info,
find that
contact
fascinating.
Bill
And you're
Brewer
one of,
Carolina
right now, the
Prospectors
only.
in
I'm actually-
Statesville.
Yeah,
The
so
Statesville
she is the
Coin
only
and
I'm
person
the
Currency
only
in that
Statesville
can
Civic
represent
Center
NFL
Carolina
PA
March
Panthers.
panel
16th
attorney.
and 17th.
That's a pretty big deal.
It is a pretty. It's
This
exciting.
Saturday, Eagle
Yeah.
Rentals in
Although
Statesville
these
is
guys
having their
just-
Customer Appreciation Day.
I mean,
Come out to
their
Eagle Rentals from
ability,
noon until 4 p.m. and enjoy some time that is sure to
Right.
be fun for the whole family. 3435
It's funny
East Broad
because I
Street
always
in
hear
Statesville.
talk about
Eagle
this. I always
Rentals
hear all
Customer
these players
Appreciation
like,
Day
this guy
this
wasn't doing
Saturday.
quite as good. Like, I talk to him and I read his medicals and I'm like,
Merlefest
no
is
wonder.
back. April 25th
You know,
through
they're
the
like,
28th
oh yeah, he
at
kind of had
Wilkes
an ankle
Community
sprain.
College,
Like,
featuring
well,
nearly
no.
100 performers,
He had
including
way
Old
more
Pro
than
Medicine
that.
Show,
Okay, so we
Sam
come
Bush,
back, we're gonna
Turnpike
have
Troubadours,
about,
Chesky Brothers,
9,
Nickel
10
Creek,
minutes
and
when
more.
we come back.
Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets.
So we got a
Have an
minute
event
and 50
you would like
seconds,
to tell
right?
people about? Yard sales, estate
Nope.
sales, and everything in between? Visit
I just don't like Wilton at all. I really don't.
To submit
He
your
has no
event
friends
today.
and nobody likes him.
Now more Local Biz Now with Joe Bagnone on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Yeah. #1 live talk business show in all of North Carolina. I'm here with my friend, whether he will admit it or not, Danny Decker, founder of Marketing Simplified, co-author of Automatic Marketing Machine. Danny, thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And-
always a pleasure, Joe.
And you have brought us an exceptional guest, Martha Ramsay. Martha is with the Ramsay Law Firm. And I'm kind of believing like you're like the tip of the pinnacle of workers' comp. Oh, nice, Wilton.
Very
nice.
nice. That's why I
Nice.
slipped him that extra money up front. For sure.
So how long have you been doing this?
Oh gosh, I've been doing this for over 30 years.
You don't. The age doesn't.
Absolutely.
Danny looks old.
We
You don't
lie
look old.
about it forever. We will lie about it. But yeah, I've been doing it a long, long time, and has been really interesting. Kind of how the way you can advance and represent different types of folks over the years. And I've been fortunate to represent some NFL players in the past.
Well, and Danny and I, we were talking about that at a break. Let's talk about that because I think I told you I had no idea that professional sports athletes still fall underneath workers' comp. I would have never thought that.
Right. So the collective bargaining agreement in the NFL actually carves out the rights between the players and management, right? We know that owners get 51% and players get 49%, take of all the revenue. The 49% for the players is divided into what they get paid for benefits, medical, health, then their salaries, the salary cap. But part of that money, the 49%, goes to providing workers' compensation coverage for the NFL players.
I had no idea.
Isn't that interesting?
It is very, because I just assumed all of their bills were simply paid by the teams.
So when they're under the collective bargaining agreement and they're under a contract with the team, that's correct. The team is responsible for paying 100% of their bills and their paragraph 5 salary is what we call it. Under the collective
Don't you love the way she says paragraph 5, section 2?
Salary, section 2. Salary.
Don't do that, Martha. We can't keep up with you when you do that, okay?
Under the collective bargaining agreement. But when they're out of a contract, what are their rights? So if a player gets released when he's injured, if a player has a surgery with the team and then needs more rehab afterwards, what do they do, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road?
Right.
What kind of protection is there for these players who have given up their body, for the sport that we love?
Right. Yeah. So you love football?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a football fan.
Yeah.
Certainly do enjoy the Panthers, although not recently. But yes, enjoy watching them play. It is interesting that I get a different point of view of it because, everyone here will see a big hit, right? And you'll see the guy get up and walk away. We all go, oh, big hit. And then he gets up and he walks away. And, you're like,
you get a phone call
good.
Monday afternoon.
Yeah, I see what really happens to those guys later on and what happens to them down the road. So it has made football slightly less enjoyable for me, but I really enjoy, again, helping the players make sure that they're protected and their families are protected for the future.
So is this any professional sport that workers' comp still has to play a role?
Yeah. The way the collective bargaining agreements are for Major League Baseball and for basketball and for hockey, workers' compensation benefits are protected right under all those professional agreements. So any of those professional athletes can file. I'm the NFLPA panel attorney for the Carolina Panthers. So I'm able to, advise football players. But, certainly we learn a lot about the collective bargaining agreements for other athletes. And there is an interaction between the workers' compensation benefit and the collective bargaining agreement, which I have to be trained on and am aware of.
Do you get involved in that actual negotiation of those details?
I don't. I leave that all to the guys in Washington and the labor law folks. So I'm focusing on how it applies.
But I would think you have
opinions
opinions on some of those things in the way they're being written up. I mean, very few people have your level of experience, right, to do this.
Well, you know what is interesting? Recently, I have been asked to help with some legislative changes at the North Carolina legislature and negotiating some of the terms of proposed changes between business and between injured workers.
Right.
And so that's been very interesting as well. So a little bit of everything, but honestly, going back, what I really like is just making sure that people are protected.
You have a question?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to jump in. One of the reasons I honestly wanted Martha to join us on the show, I've had the opportunity to work with you guys for a couple of years. And this, to me, is something that I think is super applicable for every business, law or otherwise, which is I have always been just really impressed by your sort of commitment to systems and organization as you build your team, because you have very successfully built a team. You have a great team. And one thing I'm always impressed with, and I'd love if you could share a little bit about maybe how you approach this or why you started thinking about this. You document processes and you have systems in place, and it makes it possible for you to grow your team and have really a team of a lot of really great folks. So talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Procedures are crucial in any kind of business. I mean, I'm old, I forget, but my staff also forgets, and we need to have an agreement on how we're going to do things. So we spend a lot of time in implementing procedures. I have a good friend, Chris Prigmore, who has helped me develop those procedures over the years and put it into place for us. And we use those procedures every day. They're just access on our computer that everyone has access to. And we're like, what are we supposed to do in a settlement disbursement?
And we'll have a conversation about marketing. And your thought is, the first place you go is, okay, how do we update the procedure for that? Which I just love that way of thinking. And
it's
Joe,
very, very rare in small business. For what you're describing, as a matter of fact, is very rare.
Well, you're usually so busy running the business that you forget to develop the business and you forget to take the time to put those procedures in place to protect the business. But I love that you bring that up, Danny. It's really helped me grow it, helped me scale it so that I don't have to be the only one teaching my staff everything. I can say, the procedures, read that, follow this, and go forward.
Well, and I've heard Joe say many times, like, if you want to build a business that grows in value and one day you can sell,
Yeah.
right? It can't all be on your shoulders, right, Joe?
Especially a business like hers where she is the one with all the knowledge, right? And if you've got policy and procedures, she can start to share that knowledge and information and where others can find it. It's very helpful in the future when she's ready to slow down, step back. She'll have a lot of value there.
Well, that's
well done.
Thank you for complimenting me
Yeah,
on that.
well
I wasn't
done.
necessarily thinking about the sale of
Oh,
my
yeah,
business, but I
absolutely.
see that that's already been put in place.
Yeah, you're doing well. Okay, I got a question from Facebook.
Okay.
What if they're back to the professional? They like the Panther thing, right?
All right.
What if it is perceived as an intentional harm from another player? They're giving the example of Lawrence Taylor or Joe Theismann.
Oh.
Does that happen where even though we're in a professional setting, it was an intentional hurt?
Yeah, so I actually recently mediated a case for a well-known player where we had a variety of injuries, right? We had the concussion, we had an ankle sprain, we had a shoulder sprain, but we also had a specific hit. There was a penalty on the other player. We were playing the Falcons, a specific hit and a penalty. And that's still compensable as a workers' compensation claim. And in fact, even more because it's
you
something.
lost me with compensable.
Oh, sorry. It should be accepted and paid by the workers' compensation insurance company
Interesting.
because it's an injury by accident. It's something unlooked for and outside of the normal course and scope of employment. So because it was a foul, it's beyond the rules of the game. So that absolutely makes it an accidental injury.
So Danny, every time we see a yellow flag, I'm gonna start thinking Martha
Call
might get him
Martha.
some money. Martha might get him some money.
Call Martha. You see the flag go?
When you see the
Call
flag, think of Martha.
There you go. Exactly right. Exactly right.
That was a great question. I would have thought about that. You got another question, Danny? You want to ask?
I like I said, the conversation around systems and all of that, I just think is so important. So I would love it.
It's very rare in professional service businesses
Yeah.
to have that. That really is rare and unique, and it really will allow you to have a better lifestyle. It will also allow you to have an operational business and you hit on it, that you're not retraining an employee every single time somebody leaves.
So then my question was going to be, how does someone get started, right? Because we have a lot of business owners who listen to this, who's maybe a one-man shop, two-man shop. How would you advise someone to get started? Because it can feel overwhelming.
Great question.
Right? It can feel overwhelming. And what I would just say is start with whatever you have because it's all going to change at some point. And that was my biggest flaw at the beginning was I wanted to have it to be perfect. I wanted it to have all the chapters and all the things outlined. But what I realized over time is just have anything in writing. And then you can build. It's a live document. It's going to grow. It's going to change as you get different employees, as you change your procedures, it's going to come in and change. So just recognize that it's not going to be perfect. There might be stuff that's outdated. That's okay. When you go to train on that or someone goes to train on it, we'll update it as we go. So think of it as kind of a live, breathing document and just start with whatever you have.
And that could be part of the policy. If there's an area in which is in question, here's how we review it.
Exactly right. I say to my staff, we don't understand this. Let's come together. Let's talk about it. We agree on what it is. And I say, who's going to write the procedure for that? And then they're charged with going back and putting that into writing.
Well, in a lot of cases, that leads to really interesting conversations where you rethink, right? Like,
Yes.
what is the best way to do this? And how can we provide a better experience for our clients, right?
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, sometimes when I see it in writing what my staff wrote up for me, I then realize, oh, I'm missing an opportunity here. I could have seen this. We could also do it this way. And then I'm able to see it and kind of make a modification to it and then republish that back out to everybody. And we're like, oh, yeah, we are all on the same page. Literally, we're all on the same page.
Right. So we've only got a few seconds. So if there's somebody out there that's been harmed and they feel like maybe not, right? Give me, what are they looking for? What makes me want to pick up the phone and call you, right? What's different about that?
You want to call me if you are worried about being able to go back to your job. You want to call me if you had a work injury that required a surgery. For sure, you absolutely want to speak. Even if you don't call me, call some attorney about your workers' compensation
Call
injury.
Martha.
But those to me are the two most significant criteria in evaluating whether you should
If
call
you
an
can't
attorney.
get back to work,
Can't
give
get
Martha
back
a
to
call.
work or had a surgery.
Martha Ramsay with Ramsay Law Firm, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you next week.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W264CU Statesville.